Hey, this is the World Advice Channel 2. What I want to talk about today is the question that a lot of people, if you are black, you get a lot, the whole you're not black enough question. Now for this video, I'm going to discuss the problem with the you're not black enough question that you hear over and over and over again. And it is actually ridiculous and extremely annoying. And I'm going to point out why that way of thinking is flawed. So, anyway, now that you know that, let's get started. So, when it comes to my first point I want to make about the problem with the you're not black enough question, is a simple fact of the matter that that you don't disprove your blackness for having a wider range of interests outside of the ghetto. And that's exactly what my first point is. Because this is the problem I always have every single time I hear that point. Okay? When it comes to blackness. Okay? If you're not black enough, if you don't watch basketball, the latest basketball game, you're not black enough if you don't, for example, watch constantly watch these certain particular movies or every single thing out there, in all honesty, you're not black enough, which you hear every single time. And it's actually very annoying, to be honest with you, let alone the fact that, you actually have interests outside of these particular few topics. Like if you watch something related to animals, I remember when I was growing up, like talking about things like related to animals and like the Serengeti and all that type of stuff, like National Geographic or Discovery Channel, or watch something related to aliens or whatever stuff you can imagine that's outside of just a few particular things, the ghetto, of course, and maybe at the very least, the history of segregation and slavery in the black community and stuff, just stuff that relate to a very specific small portion of things, then you're not black enough. And I just want to say that is so stupid because how do you define how black you are based on simply your particular interests? How black you are doesn't mean you have to, for example, be interested in only black related things, okay? Or a million different catchphrases and a lot of different things that, in all honesty, are actually probably in a greater scheme of things, and not probably, literally in a greater scheme of things, actually completely irrelevant, okay? If you what if you want to prove your blackness, you prove your blackness by actually helping a black community. That's what proves your blackness the most. Actually, two main things, okay? Helping a black community and at least having empathy for the black community, for the fact that you have relatives who are being mistreated who are black and other communities of as well as other, of course, people who look like you who are being mistreated. That's what you define blackness as. All this random shit about, oh, you don't know this stuff, or particularly if you're a black Caribbean Jamaican specifically. Oh my God, let's not even go there. Um, you don't know this particular dance move or this particular new thing that's coming out there. You don't listen to reggae like 24/7 and all that type of stuff, as well as, of course, rap music 24/7, then you're not then you're not black enough. And that's very problematic and is a way of thinking I hear so much, it's not even ridiculous. But how does that really mean anything? Because you can still be black and know every single thing and actually cause more destruction in your community. What makes you actually prove your blackness or just prove your blackness is really just actually helping the community, doing things to improve the black community, making things better for the black community, all that type of stuff, okay? And of course, not just helping the black community as well, directly through the places you might live at and so on and so forth, but even maybe seeing what you can do on an international scale and an international level to help the black community. Just simply sitting there and just simply saying, oh, I don't know this particular thing, oh, you're not black enough, it literally makes no sense. And that's my first point I want to make. The second point I want to make when it comes to talking about this particular issue, for that matter, okay, when it comes to the whole "you're not black enough" question, is also the simple fact of the matter that I hear it, that when it comes to these people, I can guarantee you, okay, I can guarantee you, a majority of them, not even a majority, a vast majority of them, if not all of them, if you were to name a single African civilization, okay, a single African civilization, you know, that of course, we as black people come from Africa, so obviously, of course, what's blacker than knowing something for Africa, directly Africa. They couldn't even give you an even a single answer. A single answer. They couldn't even give you a single freaking answer. Okay? Whether it could be any empire in Africa, whether it could be West, Central, East, South, they couldn't name a single civilization. Okay? Or even aside from that, when it comes to understanding the traditions of Africa, they couldn't even name anything for that matter related to that. And if you're gonna say, "Oh, I'm the blackest person ever," "I'm one of the blackest person ever," and this and that, blah 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 blah, like a lot of those people say, then why don't you know those things? That's a question I want to ask, because you hear that all the time. Tell me what exact. Tell me one of the African civilizations that existed in the past. Tell me about Mali. Tell me about the Mali Empire. Tell me about the Wolof Empire. Tell me about the Songhai Empire. Tell me about all those empires. What do you hear from them? Nothing. Dead silence. And they don't have nothing to add that they want to say. Not even the Zulus or even the most well-known African empires like them and or the Nubians or something like that. They can't tell you anything. So what exactly does it mean though, if anything? If you're saying, "Oh, you're not black enough," how the hell does that make any sense? If you're gonna say that and criticize everyone when it comes to actually knowing your own history, your own history for that matter, and let alone knowing more about your own race, you don't even know that much yourself. That doesn't make any sense. So that's a second point I wanted to make about those people. Okay, and to end this off, all I have to simply say is that if you really want to define your blackness, what defining your blackness is, to sum it up as a whole, is simply being someone who actually has not only empathy, but someone who also, of course, is someone who helps the black community, or just in general, both for that matter. Okay, that is what you define blackness as. Seeing someone who obviously is black on TV getting beaten up, and you're black too, and you can clearly tell the situation didn't warrant such a vital, vicious response, is proving your blackness. Proving your blackness is looking at slavery and saying what they did was wrong, and this and that. And I'm not going to look at anything that supports people that did those things. Okay, I'm not going to watch, you know, videos that glamorize the Confederacy of the South or things like that. Okay, I'm not going to look at things like that for that matter. Okay, I'm not going to look at those type of things. That proves your blackness. That's the first thing that proves your blackness. Okay, I'm not watching that shit. I'm not watching what they did to our ancestors. I'm not watching that crap. I'm not watching, stuff like that, or playing a video game that, if anything, has people on slave ships. That's proving your blackness, is empathy and showing that you care about your community. So that's the first thing I simply want to say. The second thing I want to say, to that I was getting at before, is actually doing something, helping a black community. Maybe we could even be working at soup kitchens, giving advice on what we can do, and so on and so forth, is what proves your blackness. Okay, all this crap about knowing about these irrelevant, obscure facts in a lot of cases, and just simply being interested in other things, um than just simply listening to you know just simply listening to rap music 100% of the time and all that type of stuff, or any other black genre 24/7 for that matter, and having interest in other things aside from, like, shows that relate to the ghetto and stuff, truth be told, does not mean that you're not black. What proves your blackness is actually, as I said before, being empathetic and actually doing something. And most importantly of all, doing something. That's what proves your blackness. So I hope you learned something today. This is my video. I hope you enjoyed it. This is all I have to say. I just want to mention, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say, and simply put it, I'm out. Bye.